This is my Echeveria Prolifera that is planted in this beautiful blue pot, nice contrasting color. But the problem is now, because it has a small narrow neck, the plant is now struggling to grow. So this plant now, if it was to grow freely, the one on the right is planted in a pretty pot. The one on the left is planted in this big pot. So if this one on the right would have been planted in a bigger pot like this, the one in the pretty pot would have had so many babies. This is how much plants I'm missing out on. So these two are the same plant. So one is more green because it's got more soil, and this one has nicely stressed up. Look at those gorgeous tips, and that's the reason why I planted it in a pretty pot, so I can get this result. So this poor plant now needs to be repotted. But how do you remove the plant, or how do you repot a plant that is grown in narrow neck? Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. Now this one is another example of narrow mouth pots. This is an Echeveria victorata, agavoides victorata, and again you can see that this pot is so pretty. Is there a better term for a I am a for beautiful pots? Like, who's not? Anyway, now beautiful pots and beautiful succulents go together. But the problem is they don't grow. So they take a long time to grow, just like the beautiful Prolifera. This one as well has stagnated. So I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heads, and it's about to flower as well. But this is nothing compared to, so look at the two of them. So that one, they're the same age. Those plants, look how many babies I've got that one in that one compared to this one. So that's why it depends what you like. If you want pretty plants in pretty pots, or you want to propagate a lot of pretty babies. But this one is easily repotted. You can just tip that out and plant it and separate it. But these ones are the problems. So this one is still okay. Even though it has a small mouth, there's still room for the baby to grow. So I'm not repotting this one. This is my Swan Lake. Now this one is Pachyphytum diamond. This diamond here, I don't have a baby for my diamond yet. This is my first diamond. This is actually one of my oldest plants. This is probably about 4.5 or 5 years old, this plant here. And this is not an ideal time to be propagating this because it's flowering. I want to get some leaves to propagate. Hopefully I can, this is the first time actually this plant flowered. This is my Echeveria White Prince. My White Prince here got attacked by aphids. When I left for my trip this year in July, she was still fine, and I came back, it was covered with aphids, and I just sprayed it with my metho solution. And then now you can still see some sugary drops in here that's actually sticky. Look at that. So it's like sticky. That's from the aphids living in there. So you can still see I already sprayed it, and that's all dried up, and but still there's still new ones that keeps coming. So I have to continuously spray this for aphids. So but anyway, now this one has got a lot of babies. This is also a candidate for removing it. The first thing I want to do is remove some of, well actually not some, just one from this Pachyphytum diamond. I don't really have a baby propagated from this. Well, they are all baby propagated now because they have grown. So from one plant I now have 5. So you can see 5 heads. But the only problem with these ones is that the rest of the mature rosettes are flowering. With this flowering, I can harvest the leaves if I just leave it later on, and also the seeds. If I let the seeds grow, then I can harvest some seeds and grow some more Pachyphytum diamond. But for now, since we have a little immature plant here, little baby in the corner here being stifled by the big ones, I'm just going to remove this. So I'm just going to feel my way through. And I don't know if you can see that, but one of the leaves in here, see, that is bent. So what can we do? We can just try and remove that. There you go. It actually comes off quite easily. So that's good to propagate. And then now with this baby one, I'm just going to pull this off. So I'm just going to feel my way through and just get a firm grip on it. Hang on, another leaf. Okay, because it's a bit tight. So now I'm just feeling my way right down to the bottom of the roots now, or that's the surface of the soil, and now I'm just going to tug and pull. Now I'm going to get this with roots and all. There you go. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So now we're just going to clean this off without making too much mess. And this one now I'm going to put aside. This is now ready to be repotted in a separate pot or have a pot of its own. I'm just going to clean this off. But you get the idea. So this one I'm not going to touch. I just want to see if there's any more babies hiding inside. None, but there's a lot of dry leaves inside. So I'm going to poke in there and clean this off. And you don't need to see that. So I'll put this away. Now with this Reiter now, what I want to do with this Reiter is just clean it off. I could also repot this. But, okay, and yes, the roots are really sticking out and saying, please take us out of here. We need some room to breathe. So what I'm going to do with this one, I am going to repot this one. Oops, that's dry leaves, doesn't matter. And using this pot here, which is quite tall. And what's going to happen with this Echeveria Reiter is that it's going to grow in there. So you can just imagine that and sort of hang over on the side, which is going to be a very, very nice, pretty sight. So what I'm going to do now is just remove this one first. I wasn't going to remove it, but then now might as well. But the first thing to do is, instead of trying to pull the whole thing off or wriggle my way through on the sides there, the first thing I want to do is just go to the bottom, which is just a hole here. And then it's hallmark Chinese Ming Dynasty pot that I drilled a hole through. So I'm just going to wriggle. Hang on, I'm going to make a mess, so I'm going to get some container. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here, put that there. I'll put you away for now, and we'll just work on this one. We're going to push from the side. So this one is a bit bent. You can have a straight one like this one. But see, but you just have to angle it. So I am angling away like so and pushing the bottom and pushing in. You can see that. So I'm just going to go around loosening the soil, and some soil is already coming out from the top. So this is my metal chopstick, but I like using this bent one. This was not intentionally bent. It just bended on its own, on bended knees. So, okay, so I can feel some, there you go. So this is now well rooted. So push from the back. Take your time. Don't rush. Like I'm rushing right now because I got a video on. Because when you have the video running for a long time, it takes up so much memory that when I'm editing the video, it takes up so long. So I have to do a lot of adjusting to shorten the video first when I'm editing, and then it just takes longer. So now that's sort of loose in the bottom now, and I can feel some a bit movement. And now I'm going to go from the top. Now this one, there's still space. On the other one, there's hardly any space. So this one now, I'm going to look for a gap. And if you haven't got a gap, create a gap. So now I'm just going to wriggle my way through. Let's use the straight one. Okay. There you go. Wriggle, wriggle. Oh, that's really tight. So wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. Look at the veins on my hands. Even when I'm relaxed, it's just veiny. I got Angelina Jolie hands. That's a hard worker's hand. That's what I call it. So now, can you see it moving? Look. So it's lifting up slowly and go around. Just go around. Okay, find a space. That's too tight there. We don't want to break that because otherwise you would just pull this apart. But I don't want to pull it apart, and also that one there. Oh, look, I just noticed there's a baby in there. Look, there's one growing out the opposite direction. That one is already dry leaves. We chucked it away there. Okay, so now you can see that there's movement in the station, in the pot. There you go. And as much as possible, I don't really want to wreck the roots because the plant's already stressed enough being placed in this little pot with no nutrients. And so it's just going to be more stress. So patience is a virtue. Slowly, little one. Gently ease it in. Should I do an ASMR here now? No, I won't. I don't do things like that. Okay. Now, we'll see. No, there's still resistance, so we put some more. Look, can you see the soil being lifted up? It's just a bit dark. Hopefully I can lighten this up, but anyway. There you go. Look. It's coming out. There you go. It's getting there. It's getting out of the pot. Slowly. Gently. I can feel the granite in the bottom. Whoopsie. Don't break it. Ease into it. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Now, we tug again. Okay. A bit more. So the soil is getting higher and higher and higher. So now I can go the thick end of that. I can push it out. If you damage the roots, new roots will just form. So that's the beauty of succulent. They're not fussy like other plants. What's other plants? Normal plants, that's non-succulent plant. They can suffer a bit unless you're a salvia. Salvia is pretty strong. It's actually a lot of strong plants. So anyway, that one now. So basically you're just reducing the soil. Okay. And eventually you'll get less and less, and then so I'm spinning it around. I'm spinning around. Am I supposed to sing like that? But anyway, there you go. So it's coming out. It's coming out now. If I just ease into it, there you go. Beautiful. Not too many damage. Okay, too much damage. Look, keeping it out just to see how much root we've removed in the bottom. So look at that. So that's already root bound. So those roots we don't really need. We have this nice bit of root in here. There you go. And then now we remove the dry leaves. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some fresh soil. And I'm going to put one of these meshy thing. It's not a mesh. It's just curtains, okay? And I'm going to use big pieces of granite to go in there. So and the soil I'm going to use is my advanced soil mix. That's already pre-mixed earlier. We're going to put a little bit soil. And I'm going to sort of just make sure. Yep, there's plenty of room for the pots, and look how beautiful is that gonna be, okay? And I am making a mess here, but it doesn't matter. Normally I do this outside, but during the day here in Canberra where we live, it's been really windy and wet and cold. Even in spring at the moment. I think we only got 13 degrees today. And this is already supposed to be spring, but anyway. What do you know? I just have enough soil. So now tap, 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 tap. So and now I'm gonna put some granite. Dry leaves. And there you go. And that's it. So one down, just another one to go. So this is going to take another couple of years before this actually grows again and fill up the whole pot. And then by then, I probably don't need to transplant it or remove it, and I'll just need to harvest some of the plants. Or unless it gets really, really thick, then of course, then I have to do the whole thing over again, but on a bigger pot. Anyway, the other one now, I'm gonna continue and do the same. But this one, I am using this little koala bowl that I got from Kmart for $2, and I just drilled the bigger hole. And this one now, which is, I really want to maintain the look of this plant because I really love the way those red tips grows like that, and I will never achieve that same coloring if I have this grown in a much bigger pot or what more planted in the garden. So now I'm just making it a little bit bigger opening wise, but the bowl itself is no bigger and no deeper than the other original pot that it's in. So this pot is the same as well, except this pot here has got a bigger hole, so it's much easier to poke the soil out of this pot. There you go, she's out. So now I'm just gonna clean this all up and repot it in here. So I'm not gonna show you how to do this, guys, you get the idea. So that's it. So hopefully you find this video useful. So now I'm just gonna continue cleaning this all up. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a lovely day, and now go and repot your succulents. Have fun and have a wonderful day. Also, by the way, no need to air dry or anything. You can just replant it straight away. That's not a problem. Now I just gotta wash my hands and have a cuppa of tea.